Hello and welcome in to the Stars and Pars podcast with your host, Evan Engel. Today is Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, and we are here to cover the RBC Canada Open, the LPGA Dow Championship, the Korn Ferry Tour AccuNet Classic, and the Champions Tour Principal Charity Classic. So we got some odd tournaments this week. Like the Dow Championship, the LPGA, it's like a team duo. We have a lot of duos going on. Like last week we had duos with the Champions Tour. This week we got LPGA duos. But no DP World Tour, no Live. And I think that's really it that for what I usually have exposure in, at least. But if you are new, welcome in. If you are recurring, welcome back. Appreciate you all for tuning in and listening. I feel like last week was weird with JT Poston and Gerard being like the two kind of main guys in the end, I guess in the finale, in the playoff. So we'll talk about all that in a minute. We'll talk about Nelly winning and then all the other winners that we did not have. I'll talk about all of them because it was a very, despite not having the right picks, the right players, whatever, it happens. It's hard to freaking make picks in golf, but despite not having the right players, we did have the right like targeted signs. So while I feel like last week wasn't a great week, like I definitely lost units, recovered some thanks to Nelly and some other little hits in here and there. But I feel confident in the reads, the astrology reads every single week in and out. And if you're new here, obviously this is the golf betting show. It's the betting show where golf meets astrology. So I take all my picks using astrology, and I'm sure all the recurring listeners, you guys are bored of me explaining it every single week, so I really won't go that far into it. But there's just a couple things in astrology in terms of like every sign has like an assigned house to it, and I usually go after the first and the 10th house of career. The first house is like your identity and your self-confidence and whatnot, and that I've noticed in my time doing this, that's plays a really big part in a player winning, is when they have something in the 10th house going on in the transits happening, or something in the first house, usually a combination of both. So let's kind of get into let's talk about last week. But before we do that, I always forget to do this. Got to be a content creator. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you're watching here on YouTube, please like, share, and especially subscribe to my Stars and Pars podcast page on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, please follow me there. And also give me a 5-star rating, but especially on Spotify. If you listen there, please give me a 5-star rating. It really helps. It takes you 2 seconds to do, and it just helps boost the page's algorithm, so it'll pop up when people search for golf betting picks every single week. So I really appreciate all of you who have done that so far. So yeah, let's keep it rolling, and let's get into this week now. So last week, obviously I was after Cancer, Libra, Aquarius, and especially Taurus and Gemini placements. Also Virgos and Leos, just because of all the transits happening. Those are usually the main signs that receive the biggest career boost thus far. So I had a really good feeling, and that most of these players who were going to win last week either had some sort of Gemini or Pisces in their chart, because it was a Pisces moon to finish on Sunday, and also it was an Aquarius moon the first 2 days, which lights up Taurus's 10th house of career, and it was a fellow air sign. So if you had air in your chart, it really helped you out. So when it came down to JT Poston and Ryan Gerard, being the two guys at the top of the leaderboard going into the weekend, kind of had a feeling one of those two were going to win it at that point. At least I did not have either of them on my card. I listened to a number of different podcasts last week, and a lot of people were saying it's going to be one of the best players in the world, that like one of the top players is going to win this tournament because it's Memorial, it's Jack's place, whatever. So I kind of bought into that, and I kind of regret it, which is why it's like I need to stop listening to other people's podcasts. And I just listen to them just to kind of like hear where everyone's at with the consensuses of the week. Sometimes the chalky pick is the right pick. Obviously it wasn't last week. But JT Poston's chart is that he's a Gemini Sun in Mercury. So there you have it. That was the main sign I was after last week, because the Pisces moon, not only are we in Gemini season right now, the sun's in Gemini, but also the Pisces moon lights up Gemini's 10th house of career. So I really had a feeling some sort of Gemini or Pisces combination was gonna win it. Any of these tournaments. So JT Poston, Gemini Sun and Mercury, Scorpio moon. Now that threw me off with the Aquarius moon, because Aquarius and Scorpio don't love each other. But Scorpio is a water sign, and Pisces is water, and so they vibe really well once he got to the weekend. But I think the way he really got through the Aquarius, his midheaven is Taurus. So that was the other sign I was after. Taurus and Gemini were really the main signs I was after last week. His Jupiter is Libra, which is a fellow air sign. That always helps out, I think, a player during the week, in terms of like getting lucky breaks and whatnot. His Venus is Aries, and there is a lot of Aries happening in the outer planets like Saturn and Chiron, and Neptune, I think, is in Aries as well. So not that they have like massive effects week to week, but you know, it's there. The energy's there. And then his rising in Mars is Leo, and Mars is currently in Taurus. So that's another 10th house of career boost for him in his chart, on top of being a Taurus midheaven as well. So, you know, just looking right there, like that makes a ton of sense. And I kind of had a feeling it was going to be him over Gerard. Obviously on the last day, they had to fit in like, you know, 36 holes, like 27 holes or something like that. I forget how far they were into their round, because it got cut off by rain on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, like Burns was making a push. He has a lot of Gemini in his chart, so I wasn't going to be surprised if he won it. Or Wyndham Clark is a Pisces rising, so that made a little bit of sense. I didn't think he was going to win it though, because he's got way too much Sagittarius in his chart. And we got the hit on him 2 weeks ago, when there was a Virgo moon. He's definitely on my early short list for next week's US Open, because it's going to be a Virgo moon again, and that's like going to light up all of his charts. So we'll get to that next week. But anyway, yeah, JT Poston, ton of career influence in his chart. Didn't even bother looking at the guy, because let's be real, he hasn't. What has he done so far this year besides this? Like nothing. The announcers were even really talking about it. Like he's had a pretty crappy year, and I think he only boosted, like, I don't know where he was at in the world golf ranking or whatever, but I think after the win, he's now 33rd or something. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I saw from the broadcast. I think that's what they were saying. I don't know. So the point is he's had a really rough year, but he had a great week, and that's proves my whole point when I use astrology. It's that like astrology can open up the doors literally overnight for some people, for somebody over, you know, within a week. Like just it's your week that all these career influences are open, and it doesn't guarantee anything, right? You still have to go out and shoot your scores, go low and win, and fight the adversity and the nerves and everything, and the pressure. And JT Poston's obviously won on tour before, but in that kind of field, at that kind of course, I didn't even bother looking at his chart. But you know, hindsight's 2020, and it just makes a ton of sense. And Gerard has a Gemini midheaven, so if he won it, I wouldn't have been surprised either. There was a lot of Geminis in the mix coming down the stretch. So, and even our guys, I think we had Eric Cole, we had Jay Rose, all had Gemini in their charts. But it was kind of like JT Poston was kind of, he, you know, not that he was in control of it, but it looked like he was going to win for a long time. And then he obviously took care of business in the playoffs. So, you know, congrats to him. All right. So that was the PGA. The DP World Tour did not have anything as well. Eugenio Shikara won it. And there's another guy the guy that won the Corn Ferry Tour, we'll get down in a minute. These two guys, I've taken them all year long so many times, and they've always let me down. And of course, they both win this week. So Eugenio Chikara, Aries Sun, Mars, and Midheaven, which I talked about. There's a lot of Aries happening right now in the sky, and the outer planets at least. Scorpio, Midheaven. There's a lot of Cancer happening, so there's a lot of water influence. That makes sense. His rising is Cancer, and then his Mercury and Venus are both Pisces, and the moon was in Pisces over the weekend. So there you have it. Again, another Scorpio guy that got through the Aquarius moon transit for the first 2 days, but you look at his Jupiter sign, it's Taurus. And again, Taurus gets the 10th house career boost from Aquarius. Just another guy that I just overlooked. But looking at it now, it just makes a lot of sense. So The astrology checks out for that guy as well, Eugene Oshikara. And then on the Champions Tour, I was pretty adamant that Zach Johnson and Stuart Sink were going to win it, because not only are they the two best players on the Champions Tour, but they had such insane career influence transits happening that I thought they were just going to dominate. And they ended up losing by, I think, only like 3 or so. Don't quote me on that. But the winners, Darren Clark and Ben Crane. Listen to this. So Darren Clark, Leo, Sun, Mercury, and Mars, Taurus, Moon. There you have it. Libra rising, Cancer, Midheaven, Virgo, Venus, and Jupiter. So Gemini season lights up Virgo's 10th house of career. So he's got a lot of influence happening right now. The Taurus, Mars and Taurus right now lit up his Taurus moon and the Leo in his chart. And then all the Cancer lights up his Libra rising and his Cancer midheaven. So Darren Clark was locked in and loaded for the whole weekend. And then Ben Crane is a Pisces sun and midheaven. There you have it. Cancer rising, Taurus moon, Aquarius, Mercury, and Venus, Gemini, Mars, and an Aries, Jupiter. Ben Crane really had the chart that made a ton of sense. And I'm pretty sure on Saturday, they went 17 under. Like, I looked at the card, 17 birdies, 1 par. Unreal. So that kind of, I feel like, won it for them in the end. And they just had to go decently low on Sunday to finish it off. But again, two more guys with charts that just totally make complete sense. Ben Crane makes a little more sense than Darren Clark's, but Darren Clark has been playing pretty well the last month or two. I'm pretty sure he's popped up a lot. I think he even won one, maybe. Don't quote me on that. So that makes a lot of sense. And then lastly, the Korn Ferry Tour. The guy that I've bet probably more than anybody on the Korn Ferry Tour all year long won it. Ben Coles. In the 1 week, I did not even bother taking him because I just wrote him off. Like, this guy's never going to win. He dominated. He got it to like 1,500. I think he won by 4 or 5 or something like that. And then he ran off to go hit his qualifier for the U.S. Open. And then he was, I think he was the second lowest score in his tournament. So now he's going to the U.S. Open. Talk about a weekend and a Monday for Ben freaking Coles. And there's a lot of career happening, a lot of career stuff happening. Listen to this. Pisces, Sun, and Midheaven. There it is for Ben Coles. Aquarius, Moon, and Mercury. That's where the moon was for the first 2 days of the tournament. Gemini rising. Gemini gets the 10th house career boost from Pisces over the weekend. Makes a ton of sense. And we're in Gemini season, so it's like his first house lighting up. Capricorn, Venus, and Mars. Mars and Taurus. Capricorn and Taurus and Capricorn, Venus, and Mars go hand in hand together. Cap and Mars, Cap and Taurus. Sorry about that. And then Cancer, Jupiter, which is where Jupiter is currently stationed on top of all the other Cancer placements that are happening last week. So, I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, even if I don't get the right picks, the astrology still proves so freaking strong for all of these winners, and especially for like Ben Coles, who just had an insane window of winning a big Korn Ferry tournament for himself, which is probably all, getting him up on the list to get, I think they, 30 spots get into the PGA next year. I don't know if they shortened that list or not, but he's probably on his way back to the PGA Tour next year if he just keeps playing pretty well. And let's see how he does at the US Open. But the point is like it's just the astrology is timing. It's energy and timing, and the timing of this tournament happening. And then he had to rush out of there and go straight to his qualifying tournament for the next day. And he shot the second or third lowest score to get into one of the spots that they were allowing in or whatever. It's just that's just astrology. To me, it's just the astrology of it all. So, all the non-believers out there, I don't really care about the slack I get for using astrology. This shit's real. That's all I got to say. All right. So we spent enough time talking about last week. So let's move on to this week now. We are going to talk about this week's transits. So let's get into it. All right. So this week. So the sun is still in Gemini for at least one more week on Sunday. So this week's Gemini, sun is still Gemini. So Virgos still get the boost from Gemini. Mars is still in Taurus. So Taurus and Leo both get a massive boost from Mars currently. And Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter are still in Cancer. But on Saturday, day 3 of our tournament, Venus will be moving into Leo, which that's going to open up doors for Leos and Scorpios, because Scorpios get the 10th house career boost from Leo. So that's just kind of something I'm considering, especially when, it's going to be moving day on Saturday. I think Venus enters Leo pretty early in the day. So if you got Scorpio or Leo in your chart, you're going to get another boost over the weekend on top of what the moon's going to do. And so the moon will be in Taurus Thursday to Friday for our first 2 days. And then it hits Gemini Saturday to Sunday, which is going to be a Gemini sun and moon over the weekend. And in astrology, when the sun and the moon are in the same sign, we call that a new moon. It's going to be a Gemini new moon. So basically, who I'm after this week, right? It's a big career for Libras because there's still a lot of Cancer influence right now. And we're in air Gemini season, which Libra is also air. So Libras get the 10th house boost from Cancer and another boost from just the fellow air sign, Gemini. Cancers are also on my radar because of all the Cancer that's happening right now. Taurus is also on my list because not only is their moon going to be here for the first 2 days of the tournament, but also Mars is currently in Taurus as well. So they get a boost from that. And then Scorpio, because they get a boost from all the Cancer happening. But then when Leo enters Venus on Saturday, they're going to get a big boost from that transit happening. And then obviously Geminis are a massive play this week because it's going to be a double Gemini weekend, especially during winning time Sunday. So if you have Gemini in your chart, you're looking pretty good for me. But the two main signs I'm really after who get the big career boost from the moon transits, it's Leo and Virgo. Leo gets the 10th house career boost from Taurus, right? And also Leo, remember, gets the boost from Venus and Leo on Saturday and Mars and Taurus. So Leo, I feel like whoever wins will have a Leo, a Gemini, or a Virgo transit in their chart, or Libra, something like that. And then Virgos are probably the main play of the week because double Gemini is just double 10th house of career influence for any Virgo placement there is. So I really think the winner will probably have Leo, Virgo, Gemini, or Libra in their charts with maybe a mix of Cancer, Taurus, or Scorpio somewhere in there. All right, so a lot of cross combinations. I feel like we're talking out loud here, but I feel pretty good about the reads this week. So that's pretty much what I'm going after this week. So let's get into our first tournament of the week. We'll just do the LPGA Dow. I don't have too many picks for this. I didn't spend too much time on it. There's only outrights available. There's no first round leader markets or anything so far. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 duos that I will be taking this week. So let's get into the first two, which are both under 1,000 plus 1,000. I'm not loving it, but if either of these two win, it kind of hedges all the bets. So whatever. But the favorite at plus 500, it's Hyejin Choi and Hyoju Kim. Jin Choi is a Virgo Sun, Cap Moon, Scorpio Rising, and Mars, Leo Midheaven, Mercury, and Venus, and a Jupiter Taurus. She's got Virgo, Scorpio, Leo, and and Taurus, which are 4 of like the 7 signs I'm after. So that's a really good look. And really, the Virgo is what I'm mainly after, right? Because Sunday will be a double Gemini placement, and that's going to be really good for Virgos. Hyoju Kim is a Cancer Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Midheaven. A lot of Cancer happening right now. A lot of Cancer in her chart. Libra Rising gets the boost from all the Cancer happening. Aquarius Moon worries me with that Taurus Moon. But if they can get through it and the Gemini hits on Saturday, Sunday, and they're there, Aquarius goes great with Gemini. So that's why I'm holding on. Hyoju Kim's Mars is Virgo. And again, that's the big sign that I'm after. So I really like them both having Virgo in their chart, which is why I took them. And Sagittarius Jupiter for Hyoju Kim. So plus 500, not super confident in them, but they are the favorite for a reason. Kind of feel like I can't leave them out, unfortunately, even though the number sucks. Next up, plus 700, it's Somi Lee and Jin Hee Im. So not much better, but Cap Sun for Somi Lee, Cap Sun, Virgo Moon and Midheaven, Scorpio Rising, Sagittarius Mercury, Aquarius Venus, Mars and Libra, Jupiter Pisces. It's an okay chart, but the Virgo stuff is really big. Scorpio, and then the Mars and Libra hopefully will provide some support for her. And then Jin Hee Im is she's a Gemini Sun and Rising, so that's perfect. Taurus Moon, Mercury, and Mars, perfect. Aries Venus, Aries and Leo go really good together for Venus. Aquarius Midheaven might get a little worrying with the Taurus, but she's got a lot of Taurus in her chart to negate that. And then her Jupiter is also in Pisces. Interesting that they both have Pisces Jupiters. Again, nothing that I'm like hell-bent about in either of their charts besides the Virgo and the Gemini and the Taurus. But we'll see. We'll see. I have to put them down. Okay, the next duo, it's the EY sisters. Aki and Chizzy EY are teaming up. And I love when siblings team up because obviously there's a lot of chemistry and synchronicity between them already, but they have they're twins, so they have the exact same chart. They're plus 1400, so the number's starting to get a little better. But they're both Cancer Sun, Mars, Jupiter, and Midheaven. That's great. Taurus Moon, which is where the moon's going to be for the first 2 days. Libra Rising, great with the Taurus, great with the Gemini. And then Gemini Mercury. So they do have some Gemini in their charts. And Mercury is where it's like the thinking and the making decisions and the communication. So if they're communicating well with each other, I think it's going to help them play better. And then what I really like about them is that their Venus is in Leo, which is where Venus is going to be in Leo starting Saturday. So nothing massively, like there's no Virgo in their charts, but they do have a lot of first house stuff that's happening right now. And the Libra rising is the 10th house of career with all the Cancer happening. But I don't know. I feel good about it. So let's go with the EY sisters. Next up is Jenny Shin and Austin Kim, who are plus 2000. Jenny Shin is a Libra Sun and Mercury, Aquarius Moon, Sag Rising, Virgo Midheaven and Jupiter, Scorpio Venus, Cancer Mars. So she's got Libra, Scorpio, and Virgo. That's what we're looking for. Austin Kim is a Leo Sun, Mercury, and Mars. It's great, especially with all the Leo Venus coming in and the Taurus Moon lighting up her Leo's 10th house of career. Pisces Moon, don't love that. Cancer Rising, Aries Midheaven, Virgo Venus, Gemini Jupiter. That's where we like Austin Kim, or Virgo Venus and Gemini Jupiter. I think it's worth a look at plus 2000. So Jenny Shin and Austin Kim. Last two. First up will be Andrea Lee and Yalmi No at plus 3300. Andrea Lee is a Leo Sun, Mercury, and Venus, Gemini Moon and Midheaven, Virgo Rising, Cancer, Mars, Jupiter, Pisces. So she got the Leo, she's got the Gemini, got the Virgo, and got the Cancer. Money. Yami No is a Leo Sun, Libra Moon, Gemini Rising and Venus, Pisces Midheaven, Cancer, Mercury, and Jupiter, Sag, Mars. So No has Leo, Libra, Gemini, and Cancer. So it's so good. Like, again, if you have Gemini or Virgo or Leo in your chart, really that's what I'm after. And so, it's hard to find the perfect duo, right? With there's just so many more variables when you're trying to find the right pairing. So whatever, it is what it is. Okay, last pairing I have that I'm taking this week. It's Mao Saigo and Hinako Shibuno, plus 4000. Saigo is a Libra Sun and Mercury, Gemini Moon and Midheaven, Virgo Rising and Venus, Cap Mars, Cancer Jupiter. A lot of air in that chart, a lot of Virgo, has some Cancer, stellar. Hinako Shibuno, Scorpio Sun and Venus. Remember, it gets boosted by the Leo Venus on Saturday. Libra Moon, 10th house career by all the Cancer happening. Virgo Rising and Mars, that's where we're looking for. Gemini Midheaven, that's what we're after. Sagittarius Mercury and a Pisces Jupiter. Again, none of these charts are I don't know, ideal. Well, I don't want to say ideal. They're not picture perfect, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But it's a duo tournament. I don't really know. This is a toss up. These are just some dart throws. So we'll see what happens. Okay. So recap: Hyejin Choi, Hyoju Kim is my first duo. And then my next one is Somi Lee and Jin Hyeim. And then I'm going to take the EY sisters. I'm going to take Jenny Shin and Austin Kim. And then Andrea Lee and Yami No and Mao Saigo and Hinako Shibuno together. Okay. So those are the LPGA picks. I don't know what else to say about that. So let's move the F on. All right. Let's talk about the Champions Tour next. Okay. Champions Tour. When do they start? They start Friday. Okay. So it doesn't change too much because the moon will still be in Taurus on Friday. Okay. All right. I'm going to go my first pick, Ernie Els, plus 1100. Libra Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter, Capricorn Moon and Mars, Aquarius Rising, Scorpio midheaven, Virgo Venus. Sorry, brain fart. I love the Libra on his chart. Scorpio midheaven will get lit up by Leo Venus on Saturday. He's got the Virgo sign we're looking for in Venus. Aquarius rising might struggle on day one, but he does have the Capricorn moon and Mars. Cap and Taurus love each other. He's always kind of in the mix, I feel like. So he's like my lowest odds of the week. Next up, Soren Kjeldsen, plus 1,400. Taurus sun, Leo moon. We love that. Oh, we love that. Virgo rising. Also love that. Gemini midheaven and Mercury. Definitely love that. Cancer, Venus, Mars, Pisces, Jupiter, Aries. It's a really good chart. This is like a really, really good chart. So I like Soren Kjeldsen. We'll see how he goes. Next up is Tommy Gainey, who has won this year, I believe. Plus 2,000. Leo sun, Scorpio moon, Libra rising, Cancer midheaven. That's like literally like Sam Burns' chart, who is on my list this week. That's a really good start. Virgo, Mercury and Venus, and a Taurus and Mars, which is where Mars is currently at in Taurus. Tommy Gainey, guys, Tommy Gainey has the chart. That's a really good chart. Really good chart. Okay. Next up, I also like Bernhard Langer, plus 4,000. Virgo sun, Mercury and Mars, perfect. Libra moon, Venus and Jupiter, perfect. Scorpio rising, Leo midheaven. Holy crap! That's every one of his signs is in our the signs we're after this week. So I fully expect Bernhard Langer to be in the mix at plus 4,000. That's great value for the Champions Tour, which again, it's only like 50 guys playing every week or so. I mean, don't quote me on that, but it's a small field every week. Next up is Doug Barron, plus 5,000. Leo sun and Mercury, Scorpio moon, Virgo rising, Gemini midheaven and Venus, Sag Mars, Libra Jupiter. Leo, Scorpio, Virgo, Gemini, Libra. 5 of the 7 signs I'm after career-wise this week. So big time. We love Doug Barron. I actually really like these Champions Tour picks. And then I just threw in a long shot. I don't think, I don't know, I may not even take this, but Angel Cabrera at plus 10,000 is kind of crazy. Pretty sure he's not playing great. That's why he's probably valued so highly or lowly, I guess you would say. He's a Virgo sun and moon. He's a Capricorn rising. He's either a Libra or Scorpio midheaven. Two sites have 2 different answers, so we'll see. Libra, Jupiter, and Mercury. So he has some Libra in there. Leo, Venus. Venus will be in Leo come Saturday. Sagittarius, Mars. That's fine. It's worth a look. Like, he's got the Virgo. He's got the Libra. And Leo. And might have a Scorpio midheaven if, I mean, it just depends on the time he was born. I don't really know. So, it's worth it to me. So Ernie Els, Soren Kjeldsen, Tommy Gainey, Bernhard Langer, Doug Barron, and Angel Cabrera are my Champions Tour guys this week. All right. So let's move on to the second to last tournament we have. We're moving quick today, boys and girls, because there's not much to talk about, really. So we're going to talk about the Korn Ferry Tour next, which I haven't really delved into too much this whole year, just because, like, I don't know, there's already so many names to remember every single week. My notepad and my phone it's like I have like 5 different, like, fully packed out notes that you scroll and scroll and scroll forever and ever and ever. So much that, like, they just start lagging. Like, my phone just lags as I'm scrolling. And I have like 2026 golf part 1, part 2, and we're on part 3 now with the other fall golf that I had in the last year. So, like, there's usually all these names with all these charts that I have saved in my phone, but it's just getting so ridiculous that I just have to keep making new ones every like 2 or 3 months. So that being said, Korn Ferry Tour, it's like, I only know like a few of the names, right? Like, come on, like Blades Brown, right? Like Ben Coles, who I fucking missed out on last week, stupid, whatever. All right, let's get into the Korn Ferry picks now. So this week, I've been going after Blades Brown a lot. He just got his like temporary membership or whatever, so he's feeling good about himself. He's plus 1,200, which for the Korn Ferry, it's a pretty low number. I feel like the favorite is usually like just under 2,000 most given weeks, because it's a pretty level field, and some mofo you've never heard of always pops up every single week on the Korn Ferry Tour. And I get it, because these guys are like fighting for their PGA Tour career lives, and they want to be pro golfers, and they are pro golfers, but they want to like, sorry, I forgot my camera stops recording at 30 minutes. So I don't know where I got cut off, but I'm talking about Corn Ferry. Like I said, any guy, any given week can pop up in the Corn Ferry Tour just because strokes gain motivation. That's, Corn Ferry, you are out there fighting for your right to play with the big dogs. So this is where the future dogs are born, I guess. That being said, I have 4 picks this week. I really don't go crazy on Corn Ferry. I don't know most of these guys' names. I did look up some names, but most of them don't even have a birthday anywhere online. Not worth it to me to really spend much time on it. So here's the 4 guys I'm going to take. I'm going to take Blades Brown. Big surprise. Woohoo. Plus 1,200. Whatever. It's a decent number, I guess. Whatever. He's a Gemini Sun and Mercury. So that's big time because it's going to be double Gemini on Sunday, right? He's a Leo moon, which is huge because the moon is going to be in Taurus for the first 2 days, and Taurus lights up Leo's 10th house of career. He's a Libra rising, gets the 10th house of career boost from Cancer. He's a Cancer midheaven and Venus. It's the boost from Cancer. Aries Mars, Sagittarius Jupiter, which I think from the Leo Venus happening, it's going to boost his moon, it's going to boost his Mars, and his Sagittarius Jupiter. One of these weeks, Blades Brown is going to win the Corn Ferry Tour. It's just going to happen before he's officially like on tour next year or whenever. So why not this week? Let's go for it. Plus 1,200, Blades Brown. Next up, Davis Shore. Never heard of him. Plus 4,000 though. Great chart. Virgo Sun and Rising. Libra Moon. Gemini Midheaven. Leo Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Pisces Jupiter. Again, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7 signs I'm after career-wise this week. So I really genuinely believe Davis Shore could definitely be in the mix. Couldn't tell you how he's played last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't even know. I don't even really check. But saw his name, looked him up, had a birthday, looked up the birthday. Good chart. So we'll see. Davis Shore. Next up, Ian Holt, who I did have in my notepad from earlier this year. He's plus 6,600, Libra Sun and Mercury, Virgo Moon. So we're off to a good start. Scorpio Rising Venus and Mars. Gets a big boost from Leo Venus over the weekend. He is a Leo midheaven. Big time boost from the Leo and the Taurus this week. And he's a Sagittarius Jupiter. That's fine. Plus 6,600. It's worth a look. And it's the Corn Ferry Tour. So literally any of these guys can win. Okay, last up, he is a long shot. He played really well last year, and I had him in my notes because he was popping up a lot towards the end of last year's Corn Ferry Tour. Robbie Shelton, plus 10,000. Virgo, Sun, Mercury, and Venus. That's what we're looking for, you guys. Virgo, Leo, Moon, and Midheaven. That's what we're looking for this week. Libra, Mars, perfect. Scorpio, Rising, Sagittarius, Jupiter. A lot of Sagittarius, Jupiter guys I'm taking right now in the Corn Ferry Tour. But Robbie Shelton's chart, you guys, is pretty immaculate. That's like a really, really solid chart. Virgo, Leo, Libra, and Scorpio. Have a weekend, Robbie Shelton. I don't know what else to say. It's a hell of a chart. So Blades Brown, Davis Shore, Ian Holt, and Robbie Shelton are my Corn Ferry Tour picks. And now I think it's record time. We're about to get into the PGA picks, ladies and gentlemen, our finale. So let's wrap this up in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Get out of here. All right. So I went a little crazy. When do I not go crazy? If you watch this every week, you know I go crazy every single week because I'm insane. Which now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't even talk about last week's results. So real quick, okay. Last week I lost units. I didn't lose. I lost like 70. Well, no, sir. I gained about like 60, 70% of my units back, if that makes sense. So I lost like 40% of what I put in. So it's a loss, but it wasn't like a huge loss because I did put a little hefty number on Nelly Corda to win at plus 315. So that did, or plus 350. So that did win. And we were, Seyoung Kim, I thought she was going to be my winner without. She just kind of crumbled not crumbled. She just didn't have a great Sunday. But that was unfortunate. But we did get Seyoung Kim top 10 at plus 340, won a couple 3 units. So like, yeah, 3.4 units back. That was about that. And then we did get Tommy Fleetwood top 5, at least at plus 510. And the top 10 parlay I took of Siwoo and Tommy at plus 700 did get me a little hit. So that's where I won a little something back. Eric Cole got us plus 250, top 20. And then we did get a share of first round leader in Tommy Fleetwood, plus 3,500. But there was 4 total guys who shot, 5 or 6 under after day 1. So that win was divided by 4, but still something, like, we'll take it. And then we got top UK Ireland Tommy plus 540. And then on live, we got Harold Varner top 20 plus 134. So that was really not much. And the DP World Tour for like the 3rd week in a row, just gotten cleaned out. Nothing. Just horrible. Just DP World Tour is destroying me. I don't know. So I don't know why I forgot to mention all that in the beginning, but it was a loss, but it could have been way worse. Thank God Nelly won and Tommy did well, and Siwoo and Tommy both finished in the top 10 because that really brought me back. Anyway, back to this week's PGA Canada Open, Canadian Open, whatever, RBC. In my first year of betting with Astrology, I had Tommy Fleetwood at the RBC Canada Open in 2023, 3 years ago, and he got into that playoff with Nick Taylor, and I had Tommy, and I wasn't like as deep into like the astrology reads as I am now, so I was just kind of going off Tommy's like sun and moon sign, I think. But yeah, I'll never forget Nick Taylor sinking that 50-something footer for eagle in the playoff. That was I was pretty pissed. I was never even heard of Nick Taylor to this point. I was pretty new, so that was my roommate heard me cuss up a storm and stuff and going crazy. I was so mad. And quick little story. It's funny because the next week was the US Open, and me and my roommate, the same roommate that watched the previous, like 3 days earlier, this Sunday, the whole Nick Taylor winning the whole thing, and that's now where the logo of the Canadian Open comes from, was him throwing up that the putter or whatever. 3 days later, it's like Wednesday, and we got tickets to go to the practice round of the US Open, and I'll never forget it. We're just walking around. I remember seeing Wyndham Clark, because I ended up taking Wyndham Clark that week, and that was the first big astrology hit I ever had. It kind of started this whole thing. I remember watching Wyndham walk around, just chest up, puff, like just looking confident, walking up 18. I was just like, dude, this guy looks confident. So that was part of the reason why I looked into his chart and then was like, oh wow, he has a career influence this weekend. So that's why I ended up taking him. But besides all that, we were just walking, and players are just kind of like spending 10 minutes at every hole, chipping around the green, putting different locations. Like if you've ever been to practice round, you know what I'm talking about. And we're walking by this one hole, and there's this, there's a walkway, and like the hole's over here, and it's kind of like an elevated hole. So there's like a little hill, and there's a player chipping, and he's like 10 feet from me. I'm just walking. He's just chipping, practicing his chips. And I'm like, and I look at him, and it's fucking Nick Taylor. 3 days after this whole thing happened. And I was just like, oh my God. And I look at my roommate, and he looks like, dude, don't say anything. Like, don't say anything. And I don't know what came over me, but I just was like, this point, I kind of got over the whole loss or whatever. And I was just like, yo, Nick, dude, great putt last week, man. Like unreal, like seriously, like unreal putt. And he just looked at me and he smiled. He's like, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I just kept walking and stuff, but it just felt good to like say that to him, because it was like 3 days before that he crushed me in a playoff. But I thought that was just like a crazy little synchronicity moment of like, whoa, like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but ever since then I've been a Nick Taylor fan. So that's my story about the RBC Canada Open. So now let's finally get into the picks. So I apologize if y'all sat through that. All right, this week I'm gonna start my card off with Matt Fitzpatrick at plus 1,200. Virgo, Sun, and Mercury. Cancer, Moon, and Mars. Scorpio, Rising, and Jupiter. Leo, Midheaven, and a Libra, Venus. I know he's kind of taken a step back the last month or so since his like surge in like April, May, whenever. But he's got Virgo, he's got Cancer, he's got Scorpio, he's got Leo, and he's got Libra. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 signs we're after. So I can't help but feel like he's going to find something this week. And he's definitely going to be on my radar for next week. Next up will be Sam Burns at plus 1275. Leo, Sun, and Mercury, Scorpio, Moon, Libra, Rising, Cancer, Midheaven, Gemini, Mercury, and Mars, Capricorn, Jupiter. I'll never forget that playoff last year between him and Ryan Fox, and we had Ryan Fox. But I just had a feeling Sam's gonna win one of these Canada Opens. I think he's my favorite over Fitzpatrick. He just has the Leo, he's got the Scorpio, he's got the Libra, he's got the Cancer, Gemini, Capricorn, Jupiter is fine. I think Sam could get it done this week, and I rarely take Sam Burns ever, but I think he can get it done this week. Next up is Robert McIntyre, plus 2450. Leo, Sun, Aries, Moon, Libra, Rising, Cancer, Midheaven, and Mars. Virgo, Mercury, Gemini, Venus, Capricorn, Jupiter. He's got everything to get through the Taurus and then the Gemini. He's got a Virgo, Mercury, and a Gemini, Venus, so he has what we're looking for. Leo, Libra, Cancer, perfect. And then I'm sorry, going back to Sam Burns real quick. His Gemini, Mercury, and Mars is what I really like about Burns, with all of like the Leo in his chart will be lit up by Venus and Leo and Mars, Taurus. The Scorpio moon's lit up by Leo, Venus over the weekend. Libra's lit up by Cancer. Cancer's lit up by Cancer. So Bobby Mack and Sam Burns have similar charts, but like both are looking really good. Okay, next up. And I had to take off like 5 or 6 guys on my list, by the way. And like Brooks Koepka was one of the ones I left off. We'll get to that in a second. Michael Thorbjornsen's my next pick, plus 4,000. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Midheaven. Scorpio, Rising, Libra, Mercury, Leo, Venus, Cap, Mars, Cancer, Jupiter. I'm going to take like his erratic play where it's like one week can be really good. The next week he just blows up and misses the cut. He's just a young player. He's figuring it out. So I'm just going to take a risk that like this might be a week he finds it, especially with his Leo Venus Venus will be in Leo come Saturday. He's got all the Virgo we're looking for. He's got the Scorpio. He's got the Libra. And he's got Cancer, Jupiter. Could be a Thorbjornsen week. Next up will be Harry Hall, plus 4,300. Leo Sun, Virgo Moon, Mercury, and Venus. Lots of Virgo. That's what we're after. Cancer Rising, Aries, Midheaven, Mars, and Libra. Libra, Mars, that's big time with all the Cancer happening and all the Gemini and everything. Really like Harry Hall's chart. Also really like Eric Cole, who's in a flow state right now. It feels like the last 2 weeks he's been playing out of his mind. Let's see if he can keep it going. Plus 4,500. But he's a Gemini Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Midheaven. That's 5 Gemini placements. Gemini Stallion for Eric Cole. It's going to be a double Gemini on the weekend. He's a Virgo Rising, which gets more 10,000 career boost from Gemini. He's a Pisces Mars and a Taurus Jupiter. Taurus Jupiter I like. Pisces Mars I don't love. But with all the Cancer happening, Pisces and Cancer kind of gets a good vibe. Maybe he finally gets over the finish line this week. Next up will be our Storytime main character, Nick Taylor, plus 4,600. You got to take some Canadians, right? You got to take some. Aries, Sun, Mercury, and Midheaven, Taurus, Moon, and Jupiter. Cancer Rising, Gemini, Venus, Aquarius, Mars. So he's got Gemini in his chart. The Aquarius, Mars worries me with the Taurus, but he is a Taurus, Moon, and Jupiter. He's got Cancer Rising. And all the Aries in his chart does get boost from like Saturn and Aries and Chiron and Aries, and I believe Neptune is in Aries as well. We'll see. Not super confident in Nick Taylor, but you can't not take him. I feel like he's the logo of the fucking tournament. Okay. Taylor Pendrith, plus 6,500. Gemini Sun and Midheaven, Capricorn Moon, Virgo Rising, Taurus Mercury, Cancer Venus, Leo, Mars, and Jupiter. So Pendrith, man, and I know you can bomb it on this course and get away with it. It's not like a bomber's course, I heard, but like you can get away with it because the rough's not too penal. Taylor Pendrith, Gemini Sun and Midheaven is perfect because when it's double Gemini on the weekend, that's what we need. Cap Moon to get through the Taurus, it's perfect. Virgo Rising is perfect. Taurus Mercury to get through the Taurus Moon, perfect. Cancer Venus with all the Cancer happening right now, and Leo Mars and Jupiter. Venus hits Leo over the weekend. Dude, Taylor Pendrith's chart, kind of sneaky good, you guys. Kind of sneaky good. But not as good as this next guy. You know why? Aldrich Pot Daddy Pot Geeter. Love me some Pot Geeter. Got him at Detroit last year. We'll never forget it. He's going to win another one this year. I just have a feeling. Plus 8,000, ladies and gentlemen. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Midheaven, Mars, and Jupiter. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Virgo placements in Aldrich Pot Geeter's chart. Leo Venus, Sagittarius Rising. Like, Venus will be in Leo on Saturday. Sagittarius rising is okay. It's opposite Gemini. We'll see how that goes, but all that Virgo on his chart is great with the Taurus. The Leo Venus is great with the Taurus, and then double Gemini will light up all of that Virgo's 10th house of career in his stellium. And you can get away with bombing it on this course. Really feel like Pocket is going to be in the mix. We'll see. I also like Stefan Jaeger at plus 8,800. Gemini Sun, Venus, Jupiter, and Midheaven. A lot of Gemini in his chart. Aries, Moon, Virgo, Rising, Taurus, Mercury, Cancer, Mars. Another guy that can hit it long. So we'll see how it goes. I also like Christian Bezuidenhout, plus 9,200. Taurus, Sun, and Midheaven. Leo, Moon, and Rising. Gemini, Mercury, and Venus. Aries, Mars, Scorpio, Jupiter. He's got a lot of career influence this week, you guys. The Taurus Moon lights up his whole chart. The Taurus Mars lights up his whole chart. Leo Venus will light up his whole chart, especially Scorpio Jupiter. Aries Mars, Gemini stuff. Dude, Seabass should be in the mix, but we'll see. Then lastly, before I get to my long shots, because I kind of have a crazy card here, Tom Kim at plus 9,600. Gemini Sun, Mercury and Midheaven, Scorpio Moon, Virgo Rising, Leo Venus, Cancer, Mars, and Jupiter. I saw he qualified, I think, for his tournament for the U.S. Open, so I think he's in. Probably going to be riding some momentum from that. He's got Gemini, he's got Scorpio, he's got Virgo, he's got Leo Venus, which is where Venus will be on Saturday in Leo. Cancer, Mars, and Jupiter. A lot of Cancer happening. Scorpio Moon gets lit up by Leo Venus, Virgo Rising, and Gemini, Sun, Mercury, and Midheaven gets lit up by the double Gemini over the weekend. Tom Kim, I think he's coming back. He's finding himself. So let's get on that early. Okay, I got long shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just kind of throw like 0.3 to 0.5 units on these and just kind of whatever. So my first one will be Taylor Moore, plus 11,000. Leo Sun, Sag Moon, Libra Rising, and Jupiter, Cancer, Midheaven, and Mercury, Gemini, Venus, Virgo, Mars. Just almost took him off, but he's just got too much career influence in there and been playing decent the last few times he's been out there. So we'll see if he can keep it going. I also like Austin Smotherman, who I've probably haven't taken since like the second or third tournament of the year this year. He's plus 12,500. Taurus, Sun, Virgo, Moon, and Rising, Gemini, Mercury, Venus, and Midheaven. Aries, Mars, Scorpio, Jupiter. Stellar chart, like truthfully stellar chart. And he's a long hitter, and I don't know what else to say, but he's got a great chart, and I could not keep him off. All right, next guy is the young gun who's debuting this week. Ben James, plus 14,000. How to look up his chart. He's got a lot of hype. How to look him up, and well, it's a good one. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Midheaven. Virgo, Rising. Taurus, Mercury, and Venus. Aquarius, Mars, and a Leo, Jupiter. He's got Leo, he's got Taurus, he's got Virgo, and Gemini. 4 of the 7 signs we're after. Plus 14,000. That'd be insane if he came in and won his first tournament. Wouldn't be unheard of, though. It's happened. But sometimes it's that like beginner's luck. I don't know. Like if he doesn't win it, he could easily be a top 20 finish. So I got that written down below. So we'll get to that in a minute. Next up is Lee Hodges, plus 16,500. This guy pops up every now and then, and I think he's been playing decent. Gemini Sun, Midheaven, Mercury, Venus, Capricorn Moon, Virgo Rising, and Mars, Sagittarius, Jupiter. Yeah, it's a good chart. It's a good chart. I don't really have much to say about that. Just a lot of Gemini, a lot of Virgo. It's kind of what we're after this week, okay? 3 more. Emiliano Grillo, plus 24,000. Getting pretty high now. Virgo Sun, Mercury, Midheaven, and Jupiter. Aries Moon, Sag Rising, Libra Venus, Cancer Mars. I don't know why he's such a high number, but a lot of Virgo, Libra, Cancer. Worth a look. The next guy I feel pretty good about. Mark Hubbard, plus 27,000. Lost to Snedeker about a month ago or so. Pissed off about that. We had Hubs. It's all good. He's a Gemini Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. Capricorn Moon. Leo Rising, Taurus, Midheaven, and a Cancer Mars. Gemini, Leo, Taurus, Cancer. 4 of the 7 signs we're after. Feel like he's got a good confidence going in his game. Worth a look. Okay, and lastly, Tom Hoagie, plus 27,500. We'll see. Gemini, Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. That's why I had to take him. A lot of Gemini. He's an Aquarius moon, which isn't great with the Taurus moon, but he's a Leo rising and a Taurus midheaven. So Taurus actually is really good for him, and a Mars Cancer. He's got a lot of stuff in his chart that could definitely bode well for him, and he's got a lot of experience over a lot of the people in this field. And he's been playing a lot of golf, so we'll see. Okay, so that's a lot of guys. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 12 regular outrights, and then 7 long shots that I'm dividing like the last units between or whatever. So I don't care. I don't. I play roulette. This is how I play golf. I treat it like roulette. Okay. I'm not going to go back and repeat all the names. There's too many. And we'll finish up here with my placements and get out of here. Top 5. One guy, Sam Burns, plus 345. Feel really confident about Sam Burns to at least post a top 5. Probably going to win it. Maybe going to win it. We'll see. Top 10, Bobby Mack, plus 295. Nick Taylor, plus 470. Feel like one of those two guys should definitely be a top 10er. We'll see. And then my long shot top 10 is going to be Potgieter, plus 810. Just feel really good about Aldrich Potgieter this week. Top 20, going to go back to Potgieter, plus 360. Feel like that's his floor this week, but you never know. Stefan Jaeger, plus 355. I also like Seabass at plus 340. Smotherman at plus 445. And the rookie with all the hype, Ben James, plus 380, top 20. Hopefully at least 2 of those guys hit the top 20. I'm taking 5. So that's kind of a lot, but we'll see. Top 30, give me Mark Hubbard, plus 270. Feel good about that one. First round leader, I got way too many as always. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13. Baby units. I don't go crazy on first round leader. I just like having something on day 1 to really go after. Matt Fitzpatrick, again, Gemini Sun, Taurus Moon. So Leos get the career boost from the Taurus, and Taurus get a great boost from the Taurus Moon. And Virgos to get a boost from the Gemini. Okay. Matt Fitzpatrick, plus 2,700, has Virgo and Leo in his chart. We'll see. I like that. Sam Burns at plus 3,100. Has Gemini, has Leo in his chart. And a Capricorn Jupiter actually goes great with a Taurus Moon. Bobby Mack, plus 4,600. A lot of Leo, Libra, Cancer stuff in there. Perfect. I will take Brooks Koepka, also first round leader, plus 4,600. I like him better to start than the finish. He is like a Taurus Moon and a Virgo Sun. No, Taurus Sun, Virgo Moon. And actually, I have his chart right here. Cancer rising Jupiter, Aries midheaven. Yeah, that's worth a look. Michael Thorbjornsen, a plus 5,900. I really like the Leo Venus and all the Virgo. We'll see how that goes. Also like Taylor Pendrith, plus 6,000 for the first round. A lot of Leo, a lot of Gemini. Does he have Taurus? He's got Capricorn, which Capricorn and Taurus go really good. Pendrith actually is a really good first round leader play for sure. Harry Hall's also really good with all the Virgo and Leo. That's a double career influence day with the Gemini and the Taurus for him on day 1 and day 2. But plus 6,100 for Harry Hall to be the first round leader, which I've seen him be the first round leader before. Then we're going to go Aldrich Potgieter, plus 7,400. All that Virgo and the Leo Venus, that Taurus Moon. I could see Potgieter coming out strong. Taylor Moore for the same reason with all the Leo, plus 8,000. Johnny Kiefer at plus 8,200 also has a Cap Sun and a Leo Moon. That's really good for day 1 and 2. Smotherman, also all the Taurus. Does he have Leo in his chart? No, but yeah, Gemini, Virgo, and Taurus in his chart, and Mars Aries. So that's really good. Smotherman is plus 8,600. And the last 2, Seabass, Christian Zaynhout, plus 9,400 first round leader. All that Taurus, all that Leo, all that Gemini, perfect. And then Mark Hubbard, plus 15,500 first round leader. All that Leo, all that Taurus, all that Gemini. Love it. Double chance bets. I have 3. Sam Burns or Matt Fitzpatrick to win, plus 590. Matt Fitzpatrick or Bobby Mack to win, plus 790. And then finally, Sam Burns or Bobby Mack, plus 860. It's kind of like just a combination, 3 combinations of all 3 of those guys. So we'll see. That, one of those 3 will at least definitely be in the mix. So kind of worth having that. Triple chance, Sam Burns, Matt Fitzpatrick, or Bobby Mack to win it, plus 455. Those are all three guys I just talked about. So that'll be great. And the last one I have is Bobby Mack, Brooks Koepka, or Victor Hovland at plus 910. I did take off Brooks and Hovland on my outright, but if they do win, at least we'll get something back. Okay. Head-to-head matchup of the week. Had a rough one last week, but this one feels pretty good. I parlay all these together. I don't take them individually. This one comes out to plus 6,500 this week, okay? I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. Pendrith over Michael Brennan. Book it. Hovland over Jacob Bridgman. Book it. Michael Thorbjornsen over Alex Fitzpatrick. Rico Hoey over Jordan Smith. Nick Taylor over Ryan Fox. Bobby Mack over Chris Rayton. Sam Burns over Wyndham Clark. Parlay all together, put plus 6,500. Top rest of the world, give me Aldrich Pocketer plus 1450. Top continental European, give me Victor Hovland at plus 480. And give me Stefan Jaeger at plus 1075. Top South African, give me Aldrich Pocketer plus 220. Top South American, give me Emiliano Grillo at plus 198. And I do want to just mention, though I left out Brooks. He just has a lot of Pisces in his chart, and that worries me for the double Gemini Sunday. He does have a Virgo moon, so we'll see if that bites us. But I don't know. I like Brooks better for next week. I took Hovland off just because of form and the Aquarius Jupiter I don't love, but he does Virgo. He's got Scorpio. He's got Leo. So we'll see. I took off Davis Thompson. He's a Gemini Sun, Mercury in midheaven, Virgo rising, Cancer, Venus, Libra, Mars. I might regret that one, but I don't know. I just didn't feel good about it. I also took off Max Gracerman with all the Gemini Sun and Mercury, Cancer Moon, Taurus, Venus, Virgo, Mars, Libra, midheaven. But I just don't feel good about Gracerman. I took off Chris Kirk, who was plus 16,000. He's got a lot of Taurus, Leo, and a Mars Gemini, but it's Chris Kirk. So I don't know. And then I also took off Rico Hoey, which that one I might regret. Virgo Sun and midheaven, Cancer Moon, Libra Mercury, Scorpio Mars, but it's Rico Hoey. No offense to these guys. I just can't see these guys winning until they actually do. But yeah. So all right, 57 minutes. We went a little longer than I thought at that start, but hey, we had a little story time in there. So it's all good. So that's pretty much it. That's all I have. Like I said, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube, Stars and Pars podcast. Please follow me on Spotify and give me a 5-star rating. I know I mentioned potentially starting a Discord last week. I got busy. I'm still looking into it, but I do want to get a place where I can like start the little community where I can talk about astrology and golf, and we can have like after day 1 updates, after day 2, day 3, going into day 4, see where we're at. If I don't have anybody then there's somebody that's popping up, maybe I'll mention him or whatever, So look out for that in the future. I might start one soon. But other than that, I appreciate y'all for listening. I hope we get back on track into the winning, at least to a unit this week on profit. But yeah, so next week will be the US Open. I'm going to have LCT come back on and guest. If you're here from the Reddit, you know who LCT is. And I've done the Masters show and the PGA Championship with him. Always a good time. He knows his stuff about the course and statistics and all that stuff. So it's really good. I think it's good to have him on there with my astrology insight and stuff. And maybe we'll agree on a few guys like we normally do. Okay. Other than that, this is the Stars and Pars podcast with your host, Evan Ingle. This is the show where golf betting meets astrology. And if you have questions, you can hit me up at starsandparspodcast@gmail.com. I'm on TikTok, stars.and.pars.po on TikTok. Find me there. And if not, I'm also on Reddit under the Sportsbook Golf tab every week. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all for listening. Let's hit some winners and be safe. We'll see y'all next week. See you then. Bye.